Hey, Neek, do you know what Karl Malone said when they asked him about becoming an all-star at pushing 40?
What's that 40? No, what he say?
He said, age ain't nothing but a number. What's up, y'all? We are the Hoopstorians, and we are back and worse than ever. I'm Tony Styles. We have the return of Unique over here.
Yeah.
It is April 4th, 2024. Let's get into this day in NBA history. April 4th, 1996. Do you think we can tell that? Do you think we tell the story because we done with the 90s, or am I allowed to tell the story?
I think we're gonna grant the permission this time. It
Okay,
is
okay,
April. I'm feeling good.
okay. So April 4th, 1996, the visiting Boston Celtics defeated the Orlando Magic 100-98, snapping Orlando's NBA record 51 game home winning streak against Eastern Conference opponents, dating back to April of 1994. One, how impressed are you with that? Two, are you impressed with records that have secondary levels? Like, for example, he scored the most points ever in Madison Square Garden. So this is the winning streak against the conference, secondary word. And two, do you think 51 straight in your own conference at home will be broken?
Um, do I think it will be broken? Probably. I definitely think it's possible that it can be. I don't know whether or not it will be, but I could definitely see it happening, so I wouldn't be shocked. Am I impressed by it? Not really. I mean, a win is a win at the end of the day, but as far as me looking at this like an incredible feat, not really. It's really just another game, and it's really just protecting home. I don't really think it's much more than that. You play expecting to win. You play trying to win anyway. So those
No one,
types of
no.
wins,
Well, I was gonna say no one's ever gone 41-0. The closest it's ever been is 40-1 at home. So nobody's ever protected home court 100%. So does that influence your decision at all, or no? Nah, you're still with it?
no, not really. I mean, of
Well,
course you're gonna lose some games, but still, no, not really.
Well, that is unimpressed unique, and that was this day in NBA history. What's up, y'all? Before we get started, I just want to say I got some good news. I got off the phone with Bob McAdoo. He said if the Heat are not playing on April 16th, he will gladly do the podcast and he will do it live so he could answer your questions and things like that. So hopefully the Heat either don't have a playing game on April 16th. If not, we'll have to schedule it for a different day as well. So Bob McAdoo did say he would do the pod, so be looking for that. We plan on doing it April 16th. Um, Now, you got anything to say about Bob McAdoo? You excited for it?
I'm excited. Yeah, I mean, I'm always excited anytime we get to talk to any legend, anybody that's knowledgeable, anybody that's been out there that can really tell you what it's like to play the game that we all love to watch. So
Hey,
I'm
do you
excited.
like the theme we got going on? This week we had Bob Pettit on number 9. Next week we got Bobby Dandridge. He's number 10, and then the week after that we got Bob McAdoo at and he were number 11.
We got to find a solid 12 that we could talk to.
Yeah. Actually, you know what's funny, Woodage? I was going through this today in the Hall of Fame. I think there's like 15 Bobs or a version that could be Bob in the Hall of Fame. So we're gonna have to sometime do. We're gonna have to break down. We're gonna have to break down our all-time greatest Bobs. We're trying to go through them. I did talk to Bob Cousy. I want to let you guys know that I did call Bob Cousy. Spoke with him on the phone. It was an immediate no. So Bob Cousy does not want to do the show. I also spoke to Cliff Hagan. He said he would pass as well. So I am trying to get Cliff Hagan and Bob Cousy on the show as well. But as of right now, it's a no. So do you like it? We got a slick scheme with nothing but Bobs.
Sometimes you got to
Hopefully,
go like
hopefully we can get Bill Murray on and we can do a "What About Bob" whole thing.
that. That's
If you like
crazy.
some dark humor, that's it.
That's crazy.
So Unique hit me up. He wanted to do the most influential players, all the players that influenced him to get into the game, love the game, um, play at the all-star 8th grade junior high level that he reached when he
No,
was
I
all
played a little high
district.
school.
Yeah, when he was all district. Yeah, but you didn't make all district. You were all district in intramurals. You know what I
Okay.
mean? They were all district.
Um,
That's all they had for it. So, um, let's get into it. I don't know if you had a ranking or anything. I mean, I don't know if you want to do honorable mentions, but let's get into it. Let's hear who you got on the most influential.
so I don't necessarily have a ranking, but it will at one point after I go through it, I would be able to narrow it down to like, you know how they do Mount Rushmores and stuff like that. I feel like I would be able to narrow it down to like a top five. But as of right now, no, I don't really have any type of rankings because different players had different influences and in different ways. You feel me? Some was mainly on the court. You got others that was more cultural and you got others that was more financial. So yeah, um,
Hey, real
no
quick though,
ranking.
I just want to shout out to Wootage. Did you see the free NBA streaming channel on the Roku channel? No, I didn't. If you could in the comments put a little more info for me, I definitely want to check that out. And I'm sure everybody else would like to check that out as well. So I appreciate Wootage. You're always a great
All
addition to the show. All right, so I mean, you want to get into it? So who you got for your? So give me some most influential. Let's hear what we got.
right, for sure. So one of the players that I want to mention will be Dirk Nowitzki. Now Dirk was a great shooter for his size. Dirk is showing you that at what was he 7 feet? Dirk is showing you that at 7 feet you can still have that jumper. He's one of the players that at his height made other players start develop or other big men I say start developing having a better shot. He's without a Dirk, maybe we don't have like a Carl Anthony Towns without a Dirk. And then also my bad, I can't not mention the fact that he had that one-legged jump shot, that one-legged step back, like the whole form about it, that height, that form, he's making it very difficult for defenders to get any parts of that ball. And that's the type of big players that we're seeing now. We're seeing the big players that are comfortable shooting and everything like that. And that can be credited to Dirk in many ways, just because he was a pure, I don't want to say necessarily a pure shooter, but Dirk, he shot with the confidence, whereas you can see he's putting the work in. So big men don't have to necessarily be in the paint no more. He's changing that position. Um, so yeah, Dirk is just somebody that I wanted to mention.
Hey, I got a question. Who do you got as a better scorer, Kevin Durant or Dirk?
A better scorer, I would say Durant. The reason I say Durant's a better scorer is because um, I don't want to necessarily say he has more in his bag, but he is a little craftier. Even though Dirk does have that step back, Durant has a lot of other um, things that he has working for him right now. Like you see Dirk at periods where he can dribble and everything like that, but then you see periods where he's not as comfortable. Whereas Durant, he's still fluent when he dribbles. You feel me? His He's still unguardable. You feel me? So it's like Dirk is unguardable, so is Durant.
Well,
Um,
that's kind of my point, though. You got somebody that's a better scorer in Kevin Durant, and he's stealing Dirk's 1 foot shot. Like you
yeah,
already have a deeper bag, a better bag than Dirk, but you're borrowing from his
adding
bag
to it.
because you like it so much.
Yeah, definitely. And
What's
that's
it going to take? What's it going to take for the Dirk mark to get everybody to start wearing number 41?
I mean, most people don't even like them type of numbers. Like as far as basketball players, like what we have, what 41s, 42s, 44s, like just the 40s itself isn't really a popular number for basketball anyway. I think that has something to do with it. Dirk, I mean, if you're just looking at it like I want to rock it because I idolize Dirk or I want to rock it because I felt Dirk. I don't know, bro. I don't know if that's gonna happen. That number ain't where it's at. And there's nothing against it. I'm just saying, I don't see people taking up 41.
What would it take for you? How come you don't rock 41?
I would rock a Dirk jersey, but I wouldn't make 41 my number. So I wouldn't have
Um,
no problem with, his jersey. He represented well for 41, but I'm good. I'm cool on that one.
I know Europeans always come over the wildest number. Like that 77 is killing me.
See, exactly. It's like
If you got an extremely ugly number, I can't rock it. Like I don't care what's it. I mean, I'll rock Detroit Rodman's 10. I ain't wearing the 91.
91.
I ain't wearing the
But here's the
91.
but here's the thing though. I can see if it's something symbolic. You feel me? If the number makes sense, then that's something different entirely. So you feel me? Like let's say 91 is a player who was born in 91. Then it's just like, and then they end up being dope. I might look at that a little different. Or they're like, I really wanted to be number 10, but that number's retired on my team.
I ain't
So
rocking Jordan's 45 either. I think that's another ugly number for basketball.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
So
Again, though, it could be symbolic for something else, though. But yeah, I
no,
feel that though.
and I understand that's why they wear it, but I'm saying I'm not
Mhm.
wearing it.
No, I get that.
Um,
Yeah.
no, I got you. So we got Dirk as another influence. Who else you got? Give me somebody
All
else.
right. So yeah, yeah. Dr. J. Now Dr. J, the reason I have Dr. J as one of the most influential is because Dr. J, he influenced just everyone at the small guard, the small forward position. But at the same time, he was also one of the high flyers of the league. He's setting the tone. He's showing you spectacular dunks. He's making people want to join the dunk contest. He's making people want to jump from the free throw line. He's making you want to grow your throw out. He was just on and off the court. He had influence and impact. On the court, you wanted to fly through the air like him, like I was mentioning. You want to be able to come with cradles and, you know, coming around the rim from the reverse side, just his style.
Dr. J, I will say this. Dr. J, the two dunks, well, the layup on the one, but the whoa, rock the baby to sleep and slam dunk. Dr. J has the first, I think, iconic dunk in NBA history. That is the
Yeah.
first highlight when you think of like when they're showing finals clips and all that. They do that big finals montage before it. It's the first Dr. J. And then two, I was personally disappointed. I've tried to get a hold of Dr. J myself. I'm trying to get a hold of him too to get on the show. I want him to bring back the fro. This dude is 74 years old. He needs a bigger fro than the 70s. When he cut it, I was disappointed. I want my Dr. J go not mustache cut low. I need fro goatee Dr. J yamming it on motherfuckers. That's what I want from Dr. J.
And you know
The
what the
bigger
crazy
the
thing
better. The bigger the better.
the crazy thing about it is I was actually about to mention the fro, and the reason, I mean, because I'm growing my fro out, but I was gonna
Me
mention the
too.
fro because again, the impact. You feel me? Dr. J was definitely one of those
Was he the
cool
first one
players.
to popularize the fro? Because I know Artist Gilmore had one too. I don't know who's the first one to popularize the fro. I've never really looked into that, but he's definitely one. I mean, he's the most iconic fro.
Right. Like I don't know if he was the first to popularize it, but at the same time, he was definitely when you think of afros, especially when you think of players, it's just he had a different style about it. Like he made it so cool. You feel me? People wanted to look like him. Once you're the type of player that on the court they want to play like you, and off the court they want to look like you, and then also you stand out of trouble. You feel me? So he's influencing. He's showing players how to be flashy. And I'm not saying it's all about the flash, but that element is bringing a whole different type of excitement to the game. So he's influencing the game in that regard.
No,
Um,
definitely. Like I said, like David Thompson, Dr. J, those kind of guys, they influenced Jordan. And he said it so as well. Also, too, Dr. J, they always say this. He showed you how to be an ambassador of the game, and they said whenever you came to Dr. J City, he had all the women. You go to him, say, "Hey, I'm looking to meet some nice women." He'd be the one to tell you where to go.
um, Dr. J looked like a Mac. Let's just be real though. And I ain't saying it to like judgment. I'm just more so saying it like you feel me? I my girl ain't finna go to the party that he at. I'll just leave it at that.
No, absolutely. Who else you got for us?
Yeah, wait. All right. What I say, Dr. J? Bill Russell.
Oh, definitely.
What what hasn't been said about Bill Russell?
I mean,
He
influential just on the equal rights and fighting for black players' rights, black people's rights. Just influential on that alone.
activism, yes. So you have this man who is like you're saying, fighting for civil rights. He's been an activist off the court, on the court. He's being exactly what his team needs. He's being that type of player who will play within the system. He's showing you that this formula can work. So now players are coming into the league trying to obtain this level of success. Every player says they play ball so that they can win championships. Um,
Hmm.
we spoke with Bob Pettit. All the accolades that he had, his favorite was
He,
winning that championship.
he
You
said Bill
you
Russell's the GOAT, in his opinion.
Bill Russell's the GOAT. You feel me? So look at the influence. Every player, I don't want to say every player, but you have to think. All of these players coming into the NBA after seeing somebody win 11 championships for the same organization and just seeing how dominant they were, seeing how this player doesn't necessarily have to be the leading scorer throughout the season, but at the same time can show up in the playoffs and be exactly what you need him to be at any point, whether that's offensively, defensively. He's
He
influencing the
was
game.
Well, I was going to say he's the first person that I really think of, where you influenced at the defensive end. I'm going to shut them down on the defensive end. I'm going to rebound everywhere, because you got to remember his rookie season was he came in 56. At the time the league was only a few years old, just a
Mhm.
couple of years removed before we got a shot clock. So he said, "Yeah, I'm going to shut down the paint. It's not about scoring 20. It's about winning. It's about doing whatever it takes to win." One of my favorite Bill Russell stories is one time they were practicing, and Bill Russell was sitting in the bleachers or the stands or wherever they were practicing, and he was reading a paper, like drinking a
Mhm.
cup of coffee while they're all practicing. And they asked, and they were talking shit to Red. They were like, "Wait, hold on, why are we out here practicing? And that dude's up there drinking coffee, reading the paper." And he stopped and he said, "Let me explain something to all y'all. Okay, your rules are different than his rules.
Mhm.
He has a different set of rules than you guys do. That's why he gets to set up there, and that's why you got to be on the court practicing. When you're as good as him and you don't need the practice, you can sit up there and read the paper too. But since you're not as good at him, you need the practice."
And that's real talk. What can you say? You can't argue against that.
Also, the
But
influential too of Red Auerbach when he introduced the fast break to the game, completely changed
mhm.
the game, led by Bill Russell. How are you gonna get the fast break? You got to make a stop. You got to throw the outlet. Um, so yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. You got more? You got more? Like any
yeah,
more
but
about
there's
Russell?
still, it's still more Bill Russell.
Yeah,
The
no, that's what I meant. What else
we
you got for me about Bill?
we got the first player coach in Bill Russell.
Oh yeah,
Bill Russell did so much winning that the MVP Finals award was named after him. So he's impacted the game in every way possible, from like we said, the political, the activism side, to the winning mentality side, to the team player side, to knowing how to take your experiences and use it to make other teams better, or coach and make your own personal team better is what I mean. So yeah.
he's also. I think he's also the person that really first, how can I put this? Is like his numbers were not as good as Wilt's. And a lot of times
Mhm.
back then, we were just looking at numbers and things like that for voting. He was the first guy that you really saw, like, even though his numbers aren't as good, it's the winning. It's the winning culture. I think he is the first one. I'm not saying they didn't want to win before then or whatever, but it's just every year he's winning. And this dude is doing nothing but winning. And he is the first, I would say he is the first player that you really associate winning with. You think of Jordan as a winning player. You think of Magic as a winning player. You think of certain guys as a winning player. You might think of Kobe, LeBron, whoever you think of as a winning player. Bill Russell was that first winning player. So
And if we're being real about it, and we were to ask any one of them, and of course this is speculation, but at the same time, we know how this goes. We know the love of basketball. Those people that are winners, in their mind, they're thinking, I want that.
mhm.
Maybe they don't truly see it as possible as obtaining it, but that these players are chasing that 12.
No, no, it definitely. Like I said, whenever I play, I know Fluent brings it. Whenever I play 2K, I always judge my dynasties by if I can get 12 titles in 12 years.
See?
Russell got 11 and 13. I need one more in one less year to say I have the greatest dynasty mathematically. So,
Yeah.
like me, I'll be honest. If I was in the NBA and I won 6 rings in a row and we never won anymore, I would never say that. I would still say no because they won 11, they won 8 straight. I just wouldn't do it. And if they say, well, there was only 8 teams, I don't care there was only 8 teams. They still did it. None of those other 7 teams did it. So if the argument was there were only 8 teams, how come nobody else did it? Just him.
And
So
who's to say they wouldn't have been able to figure it out if there was 16 teams, 32 teams? Like, we don't know.
I got news for you. I think if they would expand it in the 50s and 60s to 30 teams, I think Russell still would have been doing that.
See?
Because they also not only too like it's like Mr. Pettit himself said, they also had that influential trailblazing coach. They had the first great coach in Red Auerbach. To me, the Mount Rushmore, everybody's got a different four on their route. Mount Rushmore, to me, in coaching, there is no different. There is no, I will not respect anybody's answer if their Mount Rushmore of coaching is not Red Auerbach, Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, and Greg Popovich. I don't know how you could say those are not the 4 greatest coaches. I don't know how you can't say that. Those are by far the 4 greatest coaches. So yeah, but I'm upset that we got the podcast after Bill passed. I would have loved to get Bill on here. Who else you got for us?
All right. So, and you did mention him. Another player that I wanted to talk about that was highly influential on the game would be Wilt Chamberlain. Um, some might argue Wilt Chamberlain might have been the most influential. Some might argue that he had the most influence on who became the most influential. Regardless, when you think about Wilt Chamberlain, you can't help but think about 100. When you play basketball, you dream that
Have you
you're
heard
gonna
have
be.
you heard have you heard Fluent's conspiracy theory on that?
What's that?
The 100-point game never existed. He thinks it's a conspiracy. Their 100-point game never existed.
So nobody witnessed it.
I mean,
No
people
one was
witnessed
there.
it. That's
I
what
know.
I'm saying.
I know. Like,
But that's what I'm saying. I think there's way too many people that claim to have seen, to shut it up for this
I
long.
mean,
I just think
players have
loose lips
talked
say shut.
about players have talked about how tired he was after that game. My man just wanted to pass out in the back seat. That's cool. Anyway, though,
Oh, this is a cool story. I do remember this. Remember when Magic got the '80s Finals MVP, and Russell, he was doing the broadcast at the time, interviewed him. He said, "How many do you want?" He said, "About 20."
exactly, exactly.
Um, no, Wilt instituted so many rule changes: goaltending, widening of the lane, the free throw rule where you couldn't jump from the free throw, inbounding the ball, just all kinds of things. And one of my favorite Wilt Chamberlain stories is I'm paraphrasing, but basically he came up to Michael Jordan. He said, "Hey, all that you talk about how you the greatest, you need to cut that shit out, okay? Because all I know is this: for you, they made the rules. They made rules to make it the game easier for you. For me, they made rules to make the game harder for
Martin,
me."
exactly. Yeah. I mean, the man averaged 50 points in a season. Like, he has all of these records still. He
20,000 women. I mean, that's got to be second to Genghis Khan.
I mean, that record somebody could catch, but
A lot
that's
of people are
crazy.
inspiring. He has inspired a lot
But
of people. A lot of
but
people are trying.
the funny thing is, you say that, but that's real talk, though. I'm sure. I mean, it's they said in music. I'm trying to get them Chamberlain numbers. They
Right.
ain't just you feel me. They ain't talking just hundreds. So yeah, like I was saying, Will Chamberlain, he's even after death, he still holds so many records in the league. At one point, he held 100 records. You feel me? Um,
Have you seen the guy on YouTube, the Wilt Chamberlain archive guy? I'm trying to get him on the show. He said he would come on the show. He knows a bunch about Wilt Chamberlain, more than I do. I'm trying to get him on, but yeah, if here's what kills me about Wilt. So Wilt was the first to 30,000.
mhm,
He was the first 20,000 rebounds. He No, I take that back. I'm sorry. Bill Russell was the first 20,000 rebounds. One of my favorite Wilt Chamberlain stacks is they tracked his blocks through 112 games that they could find. He averaged 8.8 blocks. Now the record, the official record, is 5.6 by Mark Eaton. He averaged 8 by 8. And he also showed he was the first man ever with a $100,000 contract. When Bill Russell and Red Auerbach found out he got signed a $100,000 contract, they immediately signed Bill Russell to a $100,001 contract. So he was the highest player. The Petty's real. So no, he influenced a bunch of things. He got more money for the player. He attracted more stars for the player. He was the first. Oh my God, look at this guy. He's so much bigger. He's so much more athletic. He's so much.
mhm.
He's so much more jump. he brought a national level of attention to the Harlem Globetrotters because if you remember, he had a year off between Kansas and the NBA, so he went to the Harlem Globetrotters for a while. Um, yeah, crazy influential, and it showed too, and the influential of the stats. I think he showed you
Yeah.
what was possible statistically for someone, and maybe it was just him, and nobody's matched it. But the influence of like, yo, if I play like Wilt and I go like this, I could get my numbers like it. Now, whether that's selfish or not, yeah, I think he also influenced the selfish player because Wilt was very selfish. He did care about his numbers, and I don't know if he was the first player ever, but he's the first player that I really that really, really cared about his numbers. And we see that now of how many people really, really care about their numbers.
So his influence was on, it was more so on the dominant players. You feel me? Not everybody can have the level of dominance that Wilt Chamberlain had, but for those players that had that size, that had that power, that had that just that kind of dominance just physically, he showed them what could be obtained. He showed them that yeah, given the right skills, you can be the best to ever do this. Can nobody ever touch you? Can nobody ever debate it? You feel me? So, and that's not to say he's the best or the greatest ever, but I'm saying at one point he did appear to be that. At one point he was wowing people and influencing people, and they had to get greater. You feel me? Like he stated, rules had to change because I'm just out here doing what I want when I want to. It's not even fun no more. Give me a challenge. So he showed players how to get to that level, unlock that level within them,
What
strive for
I
that.
what I what I don't like is I like I said, and I'll say this over and over again. To me, Wilt Chamberlain has an argument to be the GOAT. To me, he is a top five player. And I don't know how anybody to excel statistically so much further than anybody else, to be the greatest statistical player ever, that has to put you somewhere. You know what I mean? Because to me, there's three legs to greatness. There's winning, and he did do that too. He won two titles. He is a multi-time champion, and it's crazy. Every time I say that, people go, "He only won two." That's what multiple means. It's if it's more than one, it's multiple.
Yeah.
He's a multi-time winner. He's the only member ever of. He's the only member ever. He's the only person ever. I'm sorry. He's the only person ever that has a claim to be on the greatest team ever with two different teams in the 67 76ers who went 68 and 13, and then the 72 Lakers who went 69 and 13. Both of them were considered at some point the greatest team ever. He's the only member of two teams. Another thing that I don't like about the knock about Wilt Chamberlain is, well, he wasn't a winner. Well, I mean, he won two titles, so he was a winner.
Yeah,
If we're
he
going with
won
that,
everything. My bad. Go
then
ahead.
on top of it, what I also don't like is if Wilt knew that there was going to be so much pressure on ring culture nowadays, and that's what it's going to take for him to be considered great, I believe he would have won more. I truly believe he would have won more. But what he factored in was the numbers is what made him great. He did whatever he wanted on the court. He decided one year he wanted to lead the league in assists, so he did. Wanted to set the record for career's highest in a shooting percentage. Shot 73% one year from the field. um set the record. He has the most unbreakable record in sport. I'll tell you that much. And I don't know other sports. Like, I don't know what the greatest curling record is, golf, anything like that. But I know basketball. I know this will never be broke. 23,924 rebounds is the most unbreakable record in sports. People talk about the 50, they talk about the 100. That is not the most impressive, because to get 23,924 rebounds, you have to do that for 14 years. Don't get hot for one game. Don't get hot for one season. 20, you don't get free rebounds, you don't get three rebounds, you don't get two rebounds per rebound, you get one. Dude's got more rebounds than Barkley, Bird, Wade, Curry. They got points. That is the most unbreakable record in the NBA. That is the most unbreakable sports record. And if you don't realize that, you need to reevaluate. That record will never be broke. They used to do ESPN features about Kareem. Do you think he has them? I'm like, dude, where's the rebounding record? I said, we've seen multiple people that have a chance to break Kareem. If Wilt would have kept scoring, there's a good point right here. If Wilt would have not decided to change his game and kept scoring, he would have got around 40,000. If Jordan didn't retire, he would have got around 40,000. If Malone didn't get hurt one year and decided to keep playing, which he could have, he would have broke the record. If Kobe didn't get hurt, he had a chance to break the record. There were all these people, but nobody's had a chance to break the rebound record. Nobody. Most unbreakable record ever. Who else you got for most influential?
Oh yes. So I'm gonna go with one of your guys, KG. I'm going with the big ticket. Now, what makes KG influential? KG goes to the league from high school. Not that he was the first player to do this, of course not. But
Popularized it.
you feel me? And this is after what I want to say 20 years. So KG popularized going from the league, and not that that's necessarily a great thing, but the message in this is the fact that he's influencing players to trust yourself. He's a big ticket. He's betting on himself. He's showing players like, hey, if you have worked hard enough, you got the right mindset. You've done everything that you needed to do to get your skills and your mind right. Why not bet on yourself? What else you gonna do? This is
You
what
know
you
where I
love, right? Go hard.
you know
Mhm.
you know where I think he was really influential? The contract that he signed in '98 that made
I was about to
Marbury
go
leave.
there.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I'll let you
Yeah, I
go.
was about to go there. Yeah, I mean, you can come in too, but I was gonna let you go
No,
there. The fact,
no.
I was
Well,
about to go there.
he's the reason why there's caps on contracts now.
He caused that lockout. Um, so yeah, so back to what I was saying about betting on yourself. So he went in with this confidence. Everybody's telling him this is the best move, but it was the best move for him. He decided I'm gonna gamble. I'm gonna gamble on
Hmm.
myself, and I'm gonna go ahead and enter the league. Enter the league. Jordan is out of the league now. He's retired. You know what? I'm gonna gamble again. No, give me all my chips. What they do? Give them 126. Now the league is locked out, but at the same time, it taught players to get the max. Now that's created some issues. I'm not gonna say that, but at the same time, players are
You mean like Rashard Lewis signing for the max when he's clearly not a max player?
that's influence though. You feel me? It influenced players to go for what they feel like they was worth or go for what they're willing to give them. Like, you feel me? If it's like, I feel like I'm only worth 50, but if y'all gonna give me 75, why not take, you feel me? So it's got players basically setting their bar a little higher on what they're worth.
Hey, Woodage,
So
I just want to say, I think Kevin Garnett was an All Star in his third season because I'm pretty sure him and Kobe were All Stars for the first time together, and it was Kobe's second season and his third. I could be wrong, but let me know. But I think, yeah, New York, Madison Square Garden, 1990. I think that was Garnett's first All Star season. I don't think it was his second. He made the playoffs the second season, but I don't think it was. I don't think he was an All Star that year. I could be wrong.
he was he was definitely already a superstar regardless though. So he was definitely on his way. Like, he had already the influence from rookie season. You feel me? He had the impact from day, well, I want to say day one, but at the same time from his very first season. So
That's back when he rocked the. That's back when he rocked the Larry Johnson fade with the part right there in the middle. His rookie season. For those that don't know, so, yeah, no, I love Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett's one of my favorite players ever. I loved his heart, his determination. I love the camaraderie that he brings on the bench. That, we're gonna cheer for the 12th man, just like they're cheering for us. If you saw the camaraderie that he brought to Boston, that when they won 66 games, the defensive intensity. One of my favorite stories is when they all first got together. Doc was telling him, he's like, "Hey, for this to work, everybody's gonna have to give up something." KG immediately goes, "I'll give up all my shots."
that's not what they wanted.
Right, all right, like, well, we're not saying that, but but you're naturally selfish. That's another thing about Kevin Garnett. His highest scoring average was 24.2. I want to say. I think he had the ability to be a higher scorer. He just was so unselfish. That dude was like I said, I love numbers. I'm a numbers guy. His 0203 season, his 0304 season. If you like stats, it is a statistician's wet dream. 24, 14, 6, 2 and 2, just shooting 50%. It is just it is crazy.
KG could
So
have
here we
easily he could have
I
easily averaged 30, like 32
mhm.
any season he wanted to.
Well, then if he made it 97, I made a mistake. I thought the Kemp Payton giving him a hard time in the locker room. Oh, that's right, because Kemp got traded to Cleveland in '98. So that's what I love Woody. He's always here for us. We got to get him. We got to get him like Tony Reali, like Stat Boy and all that. That dude has always got. He's got. You know what I mean? What's that weak inside? Got my back like Pippin in all Money the Motive or whatever that song is. No, the morning by the Weekend song. That's what it reminds me of. Um,
That's dope.
you got anything else influential about KG?
Um, I mean, just the heart, really. I mean, but you mentioned the heart, but yeah, I mean,
Who else you got for us? Let's move on to the
so,
next one.
yeah. So the next one I want to talk about is actually the logo. I want to talk about Jerry West. Jerry West, one of the first clutch players of the NBA. Had there
You
been
mean
a
Mr.
3 point,
Clutch?
he is Mr. Clutch. That is, that's what some know him as. Had there been a 3 point line back at the time Jerry West was playing, we may see different stats out of him. But yeah, had there been a 3 point line institutor sooner, Jerry West would, you feel me? He's a high percentage shooter, you feel me? Like I said, a clutch shooter, willing to take over games when he needs to. He's a champion, so he has the heart of a champion. He is the logo. So not only is he Mr. Clutch, he's also the logo. The influence here is the fact that every time anybody has looked at the NBA, they are seeing the silhouette of Jerry West. You rock NBA shorts, it is a silhouette of him. You got a jersey, it's a silhouette of him. Every time you look at basketball, you are reminded of how great Jerry West is. Every time you think, I want to play, you want to play because you want to be in the same league and the likes of this player. So,
Um, Woodage always likes to steal my points and stuff. He was probably the first great combo guard because he did excel at two guard. He did excel at the point. He was only what 6'2", I want to say 6'2", 175. He would be one of those players that would be great for this era. As a combo guard, I can score, I can dish. I think his career high is what 9.5 assists, 31 points a game, 9.5 assists. I think are both his career highs, somewhere around there. Um, no, yeah, that is where I think Jerry West's influence really well. Him and Oscar, because Oscar was a big guard, 6'5", could play the two as well, guard bigger players and all that. So that's to me, him and Oscar are kind of. I think Oscar is a better player. Um, I think Jerry West is a better shooter, but I'd take Oscar Robertson everywhere else. And that's where I think those combo guards from the '60s.
mhm.
Um, yeah, that's where I think Jerry West, and I think he was the first player that really got that moniker as kind of a dick. And he's not a dick because he enjoys being a dick. He just wants to win. And you need to be,
Need
and you
that
need to have a
mentality.
little dick. And yeah, it was funny. It's like the Kobe Bryant thing because they were like, these are some of the things said about you: selfish, arrogant, asshole. And he's laughing, and they're like, well, "Why are you laughing?" He goes, "Because they're all true."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you need to have a little bit of that, that dickishness, that edge in you when you are in competition, because literally you are playing against people whose job is to stop you from doing your job. Like Patrick Beverly, his job is to stop you from doing whatever job you're trying to do. That's his
Mhm.
job. So you need to have a little bit of dickishness in you and all that. And like I said, I think it's good. I like guys that want to win. I like guys that take it serious. I like guys that care. Um, so I have no problem with that. A bunch of dudes that want to win, like they can play on my team anytime.
That's real shit.
You got anybody else?
Yeah. All right. So I'm looking at
Oh
the
wait,
time. What?
no Diddy, no Diddy. My
He was finna go.
bad. we saying dick a lot. No Diddy. My bad. Um,
All right. Anyway, yeah, no Diddy on everything.
mm,
So yeah, let me go ahead and get through this because I just looked at the time, like I was saying. So another player I want to bring up because, like I said, I'm gonna get into my Mount Rushmore. I got 5 players though. That's at
yeah.
the top of the list. So the next player
Okay.
I want to mention though is Kareem, Mr. Skyhook himself. Kareem is out there playing with Showtime with Magic. He is a winner. He's showing you um championships and he's showing you success at every level, whether it be college, NBA, um, individual accolades. At one point, he has the most points in the league. And we've already talked about how great Wilt was. So for Kareem to come and be able to surpass what Wilt had done in points, not necessarily everything else, but you feel me? Now we have something else to strive for. Now we have point records to chase. Now we're looking at it like, okay, I want to be better than that. This man got championships and then he has this many points. So he's influencing players to be their max potential offensively.
He also influenced guys like Thurl Bailey to wear those awful goggles. You know what I mean? Said it was okay because Kareem had the fro as well. Oh, I forgot about that. Kareem had the
He was
fro
an
before.
athlete.
Yeah. Kareem had the fro, and once it went, he said, it's okay to come on home, and guys like me. said it was okay. He also, too, another thing, what I think his influence is really, and especially back then, was the longevity. You know what? If you
Mhm,
do yoga, because he's the first player I ever know to do yoga. If you do yoga, take care of your body, start eating right, things like that.
mhm.
You can play for a long time. He was also first player I ever know to convert to Islam and change his name in the NBA. And we saw the influence of other players doing that now. So I actually tried getting a hold of Kareem today. I got a hold of his Skyhook Foundation, left him a message. So there is that. He also helped popularize. If you remember, L.A. Once Jerry West and Wilt, all them, they were kind of floundering. They just weren't the hottest ticket in town. They got Kareem, more towns. That started. And I know Magic is really what brought it, but Kareem getting there was really the first steps to what Showtime was going to be. Obviously, Magic is what really killed and popularized and all that. But yeah, so I see it on that. Who else you got for us?
Yep. Somebody who may have been influenced by Kareem. I'm going with Shaq. Yeah. All right. So Shaq. Shaq's influence. Okay.
Got people rapping now.
And not only that, Shaq was a winner in every way you can think of, from having max contracts to actually winning championships to having platinum records to box office move. Like Shaq was just doing it big everywhere. Shaq just did his thing. Shaq was influential, and he was such a likable guy, a likable big. I mean, like Shaq made it cool to be this
Not if you're
big.
Chris Dudley.
Normally, somebody like Shaq would be intimidating, and not that an angry Shaq isn't, but the type of guy that Shaq is he's fun loving. He's influencing you to just have fun. He's influencing you to just love life. His influence in the game, they're having to change backboards because of Shaq. They're having to create rules because people are unfairly hacking him and things of this nature. So
He created the
Shaq
Hack
is,
Shack. The
yeah,
hack of
so
Howard, the hack of whoever. He created all that. It says that Shaq always talked about a 61-point game on his birthday in 2000, and it was Kareem was pissing off because he was trying to talk to the Clipper centers on how to stop him. I heard a different story. I heard he was pissed off because he couldn't get, because it was a road game, but it was in L.A. It was on the Clippers floor. I heard he was pissed off because he couldn't get the tickets he wanted for his family and friends to come there. So I heard that one. It could be one of those made up stories, like where he was upset at David Robinson. He said that he didn't sign his autograph, but we all found that was true, just to motivate him. Yeah. So
we can't always
Shaq. Hey, Shaq also did. Maybe he was also kind of responsible for the load management thing when he said, I got hurt on company time. I'm gonna heal on company time." So maybe that's where that was too. He also was the first one. I think he was the first one ever to sign over $100 million contract as well. I could be wrong about that.
he's
If
the
not, he was
first
definitely
NBA.
first.
He's a face. He's the first NBA sheriff that I know of.
Hey, I do know this too. He inspired the Starberries because they were talking shit to him a mother about how do you justify your shoes being so much money? And he was like, you know what, you're right. And he started selling them for $20. And then Marbury came out with the $20 shoe too, so everybody could afford it.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
You see Shaq sold everywhere. You feel me? It didn't matter if Shaq
mhm.
was if his logo was on his dunk man, or what was his logo? I forgot, but the Shaq
Yeah, it was the
Italian.
it was the yeah, it's the statue.
So you feel me? You see him on Reeboks, you see him on just his own brand. So yeah, Shaq was just he was a walking what he was just marketing. He was just marketing
He's
off.
a walking attraction because he shouldn't be able to move like he did either and all that.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
what else? What else? Who else you got for us?
All right, so running out of time. As far as influence, I'm gonna go with George Mikan is another who influenced the game.
Oh my God, I've been waiting for that one.
Have you yeah,
I
so
have.
we're talking about a 50s player who has caused us to have to create a shot clock. Um, Goaltending rules. Um,
You mind if I hold
yeah,
on? Let me just go with this, okay? So check this out. Originally in basketball, tall people were not valued. Okay, they were considered
Mhm.
clumsy, awkward, and all that. They were there to rebound, get the ball to the guards, things like that. George Mikan changed that. Not only did he change that for a very long time, because it wasn't until in Jordan then you really started seeing people like, maybe we could build around guards. And even
Mhm.
after Jordan, we built around Shaq, we built around Duncan, we built around LeBron's a big player, we built around, Dirk, KD, things like that. So we still did that. Not only that, changed the lane, wide lane from 6 to 12 feet. The Mikan drill. He also popularized the hook shot. Not only that, one of his other big influences was, I don't know if people remember this, he was the first commissioner of the ABA, and why some other, I forget the name of the league, some other league already had a 3 point line. He was the first guy to really popularize the 3 point line. So, George Mikan, not only that, Wilt was the first, and Woody says this earlier, he was first about the first mega superstar, but Mikan was the first superstar. It used to
Mhm.
say things like Mikan and the Lakers against the New York Knicks and things like that. And first off, I want to shout that if anybody works for the LA Lakers, I just want to say this. I think it's, and I know you got his name up there, but I just want to say this. I think it's pretty shitty of y'all to claim his 5 championships in your 17 championships, but his number 99 don't hang up there. No
um,
statue outside, no nothing like that, but you claim his titles. So you need to decide what y'all want to do. Either y'all have 12 rings or you need to throw up a statue for him and put up his jersey number because it's bullshit.
oh, yes.
Who else you got for us?
Okay. So these last two is gonna be difficult, and I'll give you my top five. So this is gonna shock people that he's not in my top five. I apologize. LeBron James. Um, LeBron James, from the time he decided that he was going to go to the league, even through high school, you feel me? His influence started there. You feel me? LeBron is a high school player that's being scouted. We're watching him for years, just waiting on him to get to the league. There's all of this hype. Is he going to be Mike? Will he ever win championships? Will he ever prove or live up to the hype? And has he? Yes. LeBron James has lived up to the potential that people saw in him. Now he's being mentioned with, are you the greatest player? He's he's scored the most points at this point in the league. He's won multiple championships. He's won multiple championships on multiple teams. He's influenced the league in positive and negative ways. The positive thing is, like I said, winning championships on different teams. The negative ways is now we have super teams, and not that super teams never existed, but now players are feeling like they may possibly need this cheat code. So it's not that he necessarily intended to do that, but he influenced the game in that way too. He's making all kinds of movies. He's doing activists. He's doing all kind of public speaking about social issues, and yeah, the impact is everywhere. You see one of the highest sellers for sneakers and just retail and merchandise. Period. So LeBron James makes that list.
First
The
ever
same
billion dollar active player as well.
active
He's one
player,
point.
exactly.
He's yeah. He's 1.2 billion right now. He's also influenced a bunch of fans and a bunch of grown men now to say in the weirdest way, my glorious king, LeBron James." No diddy.
Or did he at all?
Uh, no diddy at all. So he's influenced that. I have never seen grown men call another grown man their glorious king. Now, if that ain't some influence, I don't know what is.
So yeah, all right. So
I
and
won't be
then
saying it.
you won't be saying it.
I won't
So
never. I'm not going no other man my king.
that's fair. That's very fair. So just outside of my top five, I'm going with Larry Bird, and he could very easily be tied with one of the players that's in my top five. Larry Bird went to the team of Dynasty, and he rebuilt. He influenced his influence on the game in the 80s, where now they're showing live games. They're wanting to sign contracts to televise and show him up against Magic. They're wanting to see the Lakers versus Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
He's now at this point a household name. He's out there winning. He's influencing the game where he's showing you that a player that doesn't necessarily have all of the agility, doesn't necessarily have all of the speed, all of the hops, but can get out there and grind and get out there and win 3-point contests, get out there, win championships, get out there, um, just lead their team to victory at the highest level. So he's in commercials with
He's got.
Magic.
I'll tell you what. He helped popularize Converse with the Larry Bird shoe, them green and white joints. He also got TV off tape delay.
Mhm.
He also and you know I'm thankful for this to some degree, but not really. You know, he also changed the perspective on an expansive league with 20 players. Can a white player be a superstar? And the answer was yes. You know, because I remember Cedric Maxwell when he got there, he was like, "Man, this white boy, he ain't shit." He ain't. And then he started playing. He's like, "My bad, he is." And so,
So yeah.
no, I got you. All right, well, who else you got for us?
All right, so now I'm gonna get into my top five, and coming in at number five, I'm going with Magic Johnson, Showtime, the person that was hand in hand with Larry Bird throughout this. You already
Mm-hmm,
mentioned the Converse, Magic
mm-hmm.
too. They're in Converse commercials together. Magic, his influence was even on Larry Bird. You feel me? Once Magic retired, Larry Bird no longer wanted to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Showtime. We have the fact that he is a big point guard. He's playing every position at some point. Magic is showing that I can do it all. He's influencing players to go out there and endorse. He's one of the first players that got into endorsements. So now you're seeing that. Every player knows to go out and try to get their money now. Magic is one of the first players that was doing this. Um, he was one of the first players that's out there franchising things. He's buying all kinds of businesses and companies and stuff like that.
Got
Um,
into ownership. Got into ownership with the Lakers. First one players to do that. Got into ownership with the Lakers. I don't know what his percentage is. I would say it's a small percentage, but nonetheless, he also really influenced. Like I said, Red Auerbach brought the fast break to the NBA. Magic Johnson popularized it. When you think of Showtime, you think, like Magic said, Showtime is looking right and passing left. So, no doubt. Who else we got? Because we're running out of time. We got four more players. Let's do it.
one more players. All right. I hate putting this person at number four. I'm going with Kobe Bryant, Kobe Bean Bryant. The reason why I'm going with Kobe is the fact that still to this day, we're seeing players who have adapted his Mamba mentality. Kobe Bryant did not start off as a starter. He did not start off as a winner. He started, well, I don't want to say he wasn't a winner,
I
but
want to say
Kobe
this
did
really
not.
quick. I want to say this really quick. Kobe wasn't a starter his first season or his second season because he wasn't as good as Eddie Jones. And there's nothing wrong with 18, 19-year-old Kobe not being as good as Eddie Jones. And if you didn't watch Eddie Jones, then you don't know what you're missing. That dude was dope. That dude, I'll put it this way, his defense alone was worth starting over Kobe. That's all I
That's
got to say.
fact. That's fact though. So yeah, so Kobe sat there and he was a student of the game. So Kobe is influencing players to really work on just developing all of their skills. Kobe is teaching players to don't be in the club. Let's go out and let's work out. Let's do whatever we need to do. Let's look at these tapes. Um, After basketball, we're seeing Kobe win awards for his contributions as far as cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
He had the little documentary or the little short film, I mean, where he's
Hey, you know
giving
what's
back.
funny? you are you talking about the muse and the puppets and all that, right? Well, there was
Mhm.
that one, and then the muse with the puppet. My brother was in prison. He got out after 5 years. Kobe's his all-time favorite player. He comes out and he goes, "What's Kobe up to?" I go, "Oh, he's doing shit with puppets now." He's like, "What?"
I do
I was
that
like,
too.
"Yeah,
Huh?
bro." I was like, "Yeah, bro." Like,
Out of
Sesame's like, he's doing
context,
some
that's
Kobe.
wild.
I know, but that is so wild. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what's Kobe on? Oh, he's doing stuff with puppets now.
I'll put it this way: Kobe was so influential that he made his daughter a legend, and she never even
Played high
made it
school.
to the. You feel me? He made his daughter a legend. So I'm gonna end that there with Kobe
Yeah,
Bryant.
Kobe, one of the greatest of all time. Go for it. Who else we
Still
got?
to this day. All right. So next after Kobe, I have Steph Curry. The reason why, yeah, Steph Curry. I don't know why Steph is three, but anyway. So the reason I have Steph Curry is because I mean, look at what he's did to the game of basketball. Everybody had to change. He's making players feel as though we can do this.
Hmm.
Steph is a smaller guy. He's not the smallest, but at the same time, we're so used to seeing all of these 6'6" players, 6'5" players, and taller than that. You feel me? We're watching all of this dominance that's coming from bigger players until Steph came into the league, showing you know what? If I develop my shot and I develop my quickness and I just keep training and everything like that, I can be considered the greatest player. This is a unanimous MVP, the first time ever. He's influencing players to go ahead and try that shot. He has players out here working on last second shots. And not to say that every player can shoot, but he has put it in everybody's mind that I can shoot.
I think he
So
also influenced too from the superstar because I think especially after Jordan, I think we had a very, very selfish area of superstars because we watched what Jordan did, or people would watch what Jordan did and they just see the 30 points and they didn't see everything else. So a lot of basketball players are like, well, then I got to score 30 and I got to dribble it all and it's got to be all on me. And if you remember like 99, 2000, if you watch like 99, 2000 Rockets, 2001, 2, they used to do this thing where they put four people on one side and just let Tino Mobley and Steve Francis dribble the ball one on one and try to score. But Steph Curry showed no, you can be a superstar and you can do what's best for the team, and it'll come back to you. Some nights it's not my night. Some nights it's Clay's night. Some nights it's Kevin's night. Some nights it's whomever's night. But it'll come back to me, and then some nights it'll be my night, and we cheer, we do that, and that's what we do. So I think he influenced that. He is one of the least selfish superstars I've ever seen.
oh yes. So yeah. So in respect to time, let me hurry up. All right. So
Yeah,
next up, I have Allen Iverson.
I've been
Allen
waiting for him.
Iverson. Allen Iverson was more of a cultural impact, but at the same time, that is not to take away from his influence on the game. You feel me? I see my man's doing an arm sleeve. Iverson has players out here in tattoos, have players having arm sleeves on. He has players out here dressing as comfortably as they want to because yeah, the headband as well. But he has players feeling like, or not players, he's having everyone that is watching him play and everybody that is watching Iverson just in general. He's the most relatable player that most of us have ever seen. That's definitely coming from, like, I don't want to say the hood perspective, but that's definitely coming from areas where everybody knows that the ticket out of here is basketball. And this is the guy that looks like your neighbor. This is the guy that looks like your brother. This is the guy that looks like somebody that you grew up with. He's the person that you're definitely rooting for. Iverson is influencing the game. He was a horrible rapper. Not no disrespect to him. He's a horrible rapper. But at the same time,
He admits it. He admits it. He
you
says,
feel
please, he said, people play that. He said, please don't play that record when I go into the club or around me. I'm embarrassed by it. It was awful. I wasn't good at it. I only did it so my friends could get on. But let me tell you what something he should be proud of, because this is one of the most impressive feats I've ever seen. Go to YouTube, Google it, whatever. There is a
exactly.
video. There is a video of Allen Iverson dribbling a football like it's a
Yeah.
basketball, going
Yeah.
between his
I've
legs and
seen
all
that.
that.
I've seen that.
That's what I'm saying. That is one of the that is for lack of a better word, I can't think of it. That is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, Iverson. With Iverson, we have, you feel me? We have the man that can kick it with the rappers. We have the man that can be in movies, even though he's in one movie playing himself. That's relevant. What I'm saying is, Iverson, he was captivating everywhere he went, even though, even though he probably should have done more practicing and less partying. Doesn't change the fact that Iverson was having the time of his life in that league, and he was influencing all of the players around him, the players that were playing with him. Like I said, he's making them feel more comfortable being themselves. Not everybody wants to wear a suit. Some people, and you're seeing they're having to
hey,
change the dress code.
because of him. All
Yeah,
right,
they're having
we
to,
got Iverson at two. Who's one? I think I know who one is.
number one is the
Bobby
guy
Hurley.
who actually, I was gonna say Coffee Black because he was the first person doing alley oops, and he left the Spurs to stay with the Tropics. So no, so I'm going with MJ. MJ, even though he only has the 6 rings, He has the 6 rings from all 6 times he went to the finals. His gym shoes are still the number 1 selling basketball shoes still to this day. And the man retired like what 20 years ago. He popularized being bald. He made that very popular. When players weren't doing that, they was letting their cul-de-sac show. Mike said, "Nah, and I ain't doing these short shorts neither, and them socks is whack too. Matter of fact, I don't like them colors on them shoes. I'm gonna go ahead and switch it up. I don't care about them fines." So without a Michael Jordan, we don't see
To me, to
purple,
me, to
and
to me, it's
we
the
don't.
flare dunk. The flare dunk, we're winding up, we're doing it, we're thinking of that, the little flare dunk. Because like Dominique came before him, he had the power dunk. Dr. J had like the power dunks in every one of them, but I mean, he didn't have the graceful and the fluidity. Like Mike really looked like poetry and like he looked like his body was specifically built for basketball. Just everything, his hands, his lanky arms, his flow, it
He
just everything.
Mike even strutted. He strutted like he strutted like a baller. Like everything about him, like you're saying, screamed like this is I was born to do this.
Showed you how to market yourself.
Exactly. So yeah, and when we're talking about capitalizing on your max potential, even though he didn't get the max contracts like he should have, he got the max dollar by being him. Michael Jordan was so influential because he was able to he was able to popularize basketball for the entire world, not just the states, not just the close countries to us, but no, everybody wanted to be like Mike.
He also helped influence to popularize the game worldwide. Um, I would definitely say out of all of them, he was the first world superstar. I could be wrong, but I think he was really the first world superstar. Um, yeah, I mean, what can really be said about Mike that hasn't already been said? First owner, former player that's an owner as well. So
He was
that's
the
it. But
first billionaire ball player, but
yeah,
that was
we out of
without
time.
we out of time. All right, y'all.
We out of time, but that was good. But so all we got to say is please like, subscribe, check us out tomorrow. And since it is
I
the
hit
end,
the gate and I hops on my Schwinn. And I tell the homies, alright then, yeah.
All right
all right,
then.
then make sure I'll check us tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Till then, take care.